and minor chords and scales within long playaway modal cages. Okay, so we're looking at the long playaway cages. So in C it's the same thing. 3, 4, 5, and then it gets long over here, 5, 6, 7, then with the tuning third, root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is the C long cage. It's obvious, right? I hope so. I hope so. Look, it's even green. Okay, but the C short cage is this. It just so happens that we have less problems in the C cage anyway. When we go over to A cage here, now we're going to be looking at, let's get some colors on this thing working for us. Now we're looking at the long A cage right here. Okay, we're not looking at the short A cage. We're not looking at that. Okay, that is not there. That is not there. Alright? Bad. Okay, so that is not there. Alright, another way to do it would be do cursor mode and just take this away. Okay, we're not looking at that. So it's just shown for reference. It's shown for reference. So the red is from the short cage right there. We have the ability to play some of that stuff, but the G minor, C minor, D minor would have to be the 3/2 shapes. Because now we're just going to be playing to the right. So when we do play with the right, let's make us a big A cage here, right? AK. Okay. Let's make us a big A cage here. Let me see if I can get this drawing tool down. Okay, we've got the big A cage here. Got the capo on the 5 here. Alright, so the capo is here. I'm going to do this for you. Let's see, the line color will be red. Right here. The top level has the short cage and the long cage. Okay, the bottom level has the short, the long, and the previous short cage. Okay, going into, remember, long cages always go into the next short cage. So let's say I'm on a G here. This is where my G is. Okay, I'm going to drop me down here. I'm trying to get the camera so you can see this. This is where my G is, F, E, D, C. Okay, that's how my guitar is tuned. The reason I did that was because I was a piano player, and I don't know how I ended up tuning it down, but before I actually down tuned it, what I did was where your E is here, okay, with Mr. Capo would be right here, where your E is, I just labeled that as a C. Okay, and I was actually playing in the key of E for a long time. Alright? And then I had a problem every time I wanted to use the piano to check things out. I'd end up being in E here. So I eventually found that I could down tune it. And that's what I did. It was a little easier on my fingers. Do it down here. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to say. I'm bringing it up to the key of C here. So this is the G scale. All right, I'm doing it in Mixolydian, like that, and then here is your G. Here's the G long. So it goes into the next cage. Now people, please understand this. This is easy, but we all of a sudden focus down and realize, just like waking up, having a spiritual awakening and realizing how closely your thoughts are linked with your actions. It's right there. So we look at the cage system, C-A-G-E-D. look at the cage system right down here. For the most part, this is C-A-G-E-D, right? Get me up there. But now it's starting to look like my name, Andy Girardi. A-G-E-R-D. Mine's spelled G-E-R-A-R-D-I. A Girardi. Okay, that's me. But the word is caged. C-A-G-E-D. So right here, we can see that the A cage and the G cage are next to one another. Okay, to the left of the A cage, here's the A cage. That means there's an A-shaped C there. And okay, so what we're looking at here is essentially the cage system. Now let's zoom back in, but this time we're going to zoom into the A box. We talked about the C4 box. That's the Lydian cage. And remember, these long patterns are if you have the fret nut here. So this we're on the 4 now. Okay, this is an F in the what? Okay, in the C Ionian scale. So we're on the F. It's going to be a Lydian. Okay. Sometimes I'll use the colors just to march on up like that. When I first made the colors 40 years ago, okay, I would do that. That's how I did it. That's how I played guitar. And that's it in a band. But just a basement band. We had a good drummer, we had a good bass player. And we even had a sax player and synthesizer and all that. So we were pretty loud too. And that's how I did it, completely by looking at the notes. But now, later in life, I realized I had to learn the cage system, and I could play without anything. So that's the A shape, E shape, E shape. Remember, starts up here in the F box. All right. The minors are the same. I mean, let's not dabble too much in here, but we've got C, E, G in the gray color because it's signifying the short A box. Started on the 4 here now. We can't use the capo because we're actually in a C box here. Here's your C box, okay? So it's your regular C box. The capo, you can use it if you drop it down to the C here. So we've got our regular C box, but we're going to start on F now. It just shows you that we don't have to be in a long modal pattern to do the F, to do the Lydian. Okay, we can do it from here. On here, right, this is where your fret nut is anyway, where E is right here. Okay. We still have a Lydian box here. We have a short Lydian box here. We can start it here from the F. Anything to the right of the capo, we still have the lesson here. In the C box, we still have the 1, 4, 5. Now, the only 1, 4, 5 in the minors you can do starts at A minor, D minor, E minor. Okay, A minor, D minor, E minor. That was 1, 5, 4. So the most confusing thing in here, so again, those 3 minors are still the 3 minors to do with the Lydian. So you got this Lydian scale like this, but you still have okay. So even though you're in a Lydian scale, you still have the 3 minors in the modal scale. Okay, you have A minor Aeolian, you have D minor Dorian, you got E minor Phrygian. Just remember, the Lydian box, the short one's in the C box, the long one's in its own modal, and that you've got the A shape is the A shape C in the A box. Okay, now you've gone from the C to the A box, and then you have E shaped F, E shaped G. So it's a long cage. It's a modal cage, but it's also part a short scale in the C box. Now let's look at this. These are just shapes. So when I say this is the A box here, okay, now we're looking at different shapes. Sure, we've got our regular, if we're in the key of C, down here in the C again, this is borrowing back into what I was just saying we're getting out of. Now it's to the left of it. We still have our A minor, E minor, D minor. But why do we have this C minor, G minor, and then another D minor there? What's going on with that? It's G minor, C minor, D minor. Because we take the A minor in the word cage and we go ahead, one letter in the word cage goes to what? C, A goes to what? Goes to G. Believe me, I had blocks with this. Because once I'm playing, I don't want to think letters. I just want to play. I think rhythm, think some words, that kind of thing. So the more you get used to doing the cage word and then pentatonic, C, or C, A, G, E, D, and then pentatonic C, D, E, G, A. If you start on the D, it's D, E, G, A, C. It's just the cage word backwards. I just add the C4 because we have the Lydian box, and we also have the Ionian box. I'm not going to scoot over there right now, but I just want to say the Ionian box is the Locrian Ionian box. Here's the Locrian scale, the Ionian scale. Okay, they're in the same box, same thing. So we have Phrygian Locrian box, and we have Locrian, the Phrygian Lydian box, and we have Locrian and the Ionian box together. Now, we take the cage word letter ahead. One A minor is going to go to C minor. Okay, D minor is going to go back to C. It starts C again. D, when we're going down in cage, goes to C again, starts the cage word again. So D minor goes to C minor, and then we have E minor goes to what? C, A, G, E, D, to D minor. So here's the three of them here. If I capo the 5, then I'm in the key of C here. If I capo G, G is the 5th of C. Lowest playable note right here is a G. How are we going to play a G minor when we have a capo right there? Okay, so this gets into definitely problems that are married, for those of you who might know what I'm talking about. So we have the capo right there. I'm going to extend it down a little bit, but every time I extend it down, then I find myself having to erase this part here next time when I want to use this again. So it's just reusing information that's helpful. If it's good, reuse it. Okay? So that's the capo in the A box. Doesn't matter what key. So that's the one thing I was talking about, the problems. So this is no longer a C minor. Okay, this was an A minor in the key of C, but in the key of